Matthew 10:37 says, anyone who loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he who loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. So you see, God has to be first. As we grow up, it's all about pleasing God in every relationship, including our relationship with our children, our grandchildren, our parents. So you're beginning to see that really the relationship model is God, right? God is intimate, He is relational, and He is our example, and He is our source. And He impacts every relationship. So we did a lot of reading. I want to go back and just quickly summarize what we just learned. We learned about parental bonding, and that if it's a secure bond in infancy, we learn to connect and we learn to trust. That's God's plan. If a healthy, secure bond is not formed, or if parents do not release their children into autonomy with ongoing connection at the appropriate level, it will cause undue focus on the relationship, which is an idolatry. Okay? Now let's look at the bond and some of the things that can go wrong. If the bond between the parent and child is not released in the proper way, so this is kind of have you ever heard of smothering love, smothering mother, smothering dad? The child is not released at all. An improper bonding occurs, and then the child and the parent both function in very unhealthy ways. And let's look at two extremes of parent. The first one, a controlling parent who does not release the child. This child is likely to avoid close relationships because their parent has, in a way, engulfed them. Have you ever heard the word engulfed? Like if you're in a boat in the ocean and it's engulfed, it's overtaken by the waves. That's how a child feels when their parent does not release them with appropriate levels of responsibility. They feel engulfed. They feel that their boundaries are not observed. They feel out of control, like their opinions are not what matters, that they have to always consider the parent's opinion as though it were their own. So it's too much control. And this is a child who will hold back in a relationship because they're afraid if they get close, that other person will impose their will on them and control them, just like they experienced in their parent relationship. Now we'll look at the other extreme, which is the unavailable parent. So through death, through divorce, through an unhappy marriage where the parents are both there but they're not emotionally available to the children, this child will have a fear of abandonment because they have been abandoned. Their parents were not able to be there for them. And so they'll avoid close relationships because they'll believe, if I get too close, you're going to leave me too, just like my parents did. And so they're not able to form a bond, and then they usually will begin to strive and to look for ways to please the abandoning parent. Oh, please come back. Please notice how good I'm being. Please love me. Please don't leave me. And so they'll spend their life trying to please a parent who is really not available to them. So those are two extremes. When those extremes happen, certain patterns can be put into place. And the first one we'll look at is